Are the banks going under? And why is it important for you to understand how banks work? Because if you do, this could radically transform your family's wealth timeline. My name is Coach JV. What I work to do is make very complex macro and microeconomic strategies very simple so the normal everyday person can implement them. In my videos, first, I share with you the facts, figures, numbers, logic. At the end of every video, I tell you exactly what I'm doing. It's not financial advice. I'm just speaking from my paradigm. But I have went from 4 years ago being completely broke to understanding how the money flows through the system, how multimillionaires and billionaires operate, and I've financially freed my family. And now we're in the next phase, which we call generational wealth building. So I have three amazing resources. I've helped over 7,500 people since 2020 break free from this just over broke paradigm. They're all free resources. The first one is a 16-page guide on exactly how my ecosystem is set up. That's in the description of this video. Second, I'm a licensed insurance agent in all 50 states. I have a team that will cover all 50 states and we'll do a free consultation, absolutely free. Watch out for scammers. We do not invest people's money. We'll never ask you to send us money. It's a free consultation around how we insure our wealth. They teach you how to insure your car, your house, but not your wealth. We do tax code 7702. Very important for this next bull run and the future of securing your money. Description down below, free consultation. And lastly, you can start our academy 7 days for free to try it out if you're ready to jump right into our education academy. All of it's in the description of this video or my social media platform. So let's dive into this. So first of all, let me share with you a little bit of history. So I'm Coach JV and I was a former banker. I've had a really wild life. There's a book about it, but I want to share with you guys is I've had ups and downs and I've lost my money 3 times. I lost my money first by horrible decisions 17 years ago, got my shit together, got an executive banking degree, CBA executive banking degree, and got a 4-year degree. And I ended up becoming a VP at a bank. And when I understood how the mechanisms of money will run through the system, and I realized that banks actually do not provide financial education to their customers, and they're designed to keep us trapped in a vicious cycle. They're not a nonprofit organization. It's all there for you to understand. They secure your money for you, and they take your money and make 100 times on it. So I started to ask myself, how can I do the same thing? So the key was to understand how banks work. Bank makes money in 3 ways. Interest income, and I'm going to make it very simple, okay? Interest income, fee income, and capital markets income. Interest income is credit cards, auto loans, anything you do with a loan, a personal loan, home equity, okay? Then you got fee income. That's your checking fees, your bill pay fees, anything that has a fee attached to it. And then you have capital market income. Those are just 3 baseline ways, right? So as you put $100,000 into the bank, they're taking your money and making 100 times on your money when you could be doing the exact same thing. So it's important to understand, are banks going under? No, I don't believe so. They're going through a massive transition to blockchain technology, distributed ledger technology, on-demand liquidity, and cryptocurrency is going to be the new financial system. Private sector right now is really exploding in the credit sector, but I'm here to tell you guys, money is completely different from when your grandparents and your parents grew up. You cannot take advice from them. Guys, the system is completely different. When they were in the system and we had a weird economy or high interest rates, they had a good balance sheet. Our balance sheet is destroyed. We have more debt than we have income. So the system has to change. Okay. But when you understand when the system changes, how it affects you, you can make a lot of wealth doing that. So at the end of this video, I'm going to share with you exactly what I'm doing. So first, we're going to watch a video and we're going to get their narrative. We want to hear from their perspective on what they're saying about this economy and banks and what's going on. So a lot of private lending kicked in. A private equity, private lending. I did some private lending for one of my companies because just banks are not lending right now. They're in trouble.
In terms of where you can make the most money, is it still an investment grade despite where we are right now?
Well, it's in higher quality credit. The reality is there's still this debate, and you'll have it with Torsten later on, soft landing, hard landing, your friend Mr. Slock. But the reality is the economy is, we're sort of a little bit in this interesting Goldilocks period right now. Concern about a slowdown has been on everybody's mind the last 6-7 months. Fed's actually done a really nice job of maintaining higher rates. So I would argue that the Fed put its order back in the market right now. And the reality is you can make, as people are worrying about soft and hard landing, in credit, you've been making double-digit returns in the last 6 to 9 months.
So
and now the perspective that's funny about this, yeah, the people who understand money, the wealth managers, the multimillionaires. They're making a lot of money off this. The normal everyday person is just trying to survive. Okay. This may seem easy to them. A hard or soft landing is going to destroy the middle class, not the bankers, because they have the insight. That's why it's important for you to understand how this money moves through the system. Okay, so now we're going to dive into another perspective where Jay Clayton, we know who Jay Clayton is, right? Jay Clayton was the one who initiated the case against Ripple on December 20th, 2020, who left to consult for a cryptocurrency firm. Which is important to understand is that Jay Clayton is now on the board, for the bank bail-in committee. So you don't think he has a hand in the decisions on how banks are rewiring and reframing and getting ready for this new economic system?
Place is the process of debanking, a phrase that I think Jim said he didn't like this morning, but it's a phrase a lot of people use. As places like this take on more of that business, at what point does a place like this pose the same risk as a bank and needs to be regulated as such? How close are we to that moment?
So what we're talking about is non-bank financial institutions. So remember 2012, Rosie Rios said to reduce coin and cash usage. Okay, she couldn't because the Obama plan turned the printing machine on full blast. The FOMC, Future Oversight Committee, sorry if I get that wrong with my dyslexia, my FOMC, I think it's Future Oversight Committee, which Gary Gensler was part of starting that, which is a future oversight committee regulating non-bank financial institutions, which activated in 2023 when the bank started to fail. And Jay Clayton now sits on the board for the bank bailing committee.
I don't think we're very close at all. First of all, I don't think we're experiencing, quote, debanking. You know, banks are and will remain at the center of our financial system.
That is true.
You know, there's no doubt about it. They have.
He's smiling. He's sitting on the bank bailing committee. The bank is transferring. It's transforming. Okay. Banks are not going anywhere, guys. Everybody trusts their local bank. Bank of America. I have a Wells Fargo account. You know, I put my money in there. I have, I transact through there. We have our business account set up there. Everything's there, guys. But I don't leave a bunch of money in the bank. I do what the banks do with my money. I use them for transact. They have their purpose. I use them to pay our bills, to pay our team members, to do all the things it's a convenience. And I take excess money and I invest in the capital markets. I put money into insurance. I put money into precious metals. I'm going to be going into real estate. I just basically do what the banks do. It's pretty simple, actually.
The customers, they provide, the vast majority of the credit. But what do places like this do? At the margins, they provide a great deal of credit. And that additional credit source that places like Apollo and others have provided, I think has been a great stabilizing effect on the economy as we've gone through this transition. When you have more nimble credit, you have a better functioning economy.
So how many calls?
For the rich. So we're not going to go even deeper in that because it gets really boring. It's stuff that I love to hear about. But basically, they're talking about private credit, right? So a lot of people went to private credit, went to, I'm using the wrong word, private lending. There's a word for it. Anyways, we did non-bank financial institution lending to get money for one of my beard company, what I launched. I went to the bank and they wouldn't lend to me because of the tightening of lending, which is crazy. We're running a lot of money through their banks. And so it shows you where the banks are at right now. The banks, financial institutions are all racing to get liquidity back into their banks. Okay. Now we're going to tap into a little bit further now, and I'm going to go into rate cuts. Okay. So we're going to listen to the first part of this, and you need to understand, and I'm going to keep repeating the same things until it gets ingrained in your brain. Rate cuts are going to be amazing for us investors. It is going to be catastrophic for the normal middle class person who's trying to survive, buy a home, live normally. Being an investor right now is a very, very great opportunity if you have an exit plan. So pay attention.
2023 comes to an end. Investment themes are already beginning to take shape for the next year, for the new year, I should say. Joining us right now is Elizabeth Burton, Goldman Sachs Asset Management. And Elizabeth, we're looking at some moves this morning that are kind of crazy with things running up, people expecting rate cuts are going to come down. Do you buy it? And if so, if you think that's really the story, what do you tell people to do with their money?
Our position remains that rate cuts are unlikely to happen until the fourth quarter of next year. We think that the Fed has been on a pretty good trajectory and will stay where they are. But things can always happen and we can reevaluate. So I wouldn't be making market moves right now based on what's happening.
So do you think the runs that we've seen in places like the equity markets and gold and Bitcoin, are those overdone as a result? Because we keep saying those things are on the move because it looks like rate cuts are coming sooner.
I don't know if they're overdone. What I would say is I think we're going to be in a range-bound area, at least for the next 12 months. I think.
Okay, so she's giving you the blueprint. I don't know why that cut out. We'll continue to move on this because it just gets into boring stuff, but it's really exciting, actually. It's so basically what happens is rate cuts, rate cuts, rate cuts, rate cuts. Remember, rate cuts, rate cuts, rate cuts. When they cut rates, guys, our crypto is going to go parabolic. your stocks are going to go parabolic. The house you're trying to buy for 800,000 is going to shoot over $1 million. Okay. It is very good for investors. They jacked up this economy. They are packing their bags. It's not by chance that a Bitcoin ETF is going to get improved in first quarter. They are going to make so much money for their institutional clients. They're going to make so much money for the institutional clients, and then it's going to transform into a new type of economy, a crypto-based economy. And those who held the line, didn't trip, dime in hand, and bought the dip are going to be some of the wealthiest people in the world. So December 4th, this came out. Fed is disconnected from reality, must cut rates 5 times next year, portfolio manager says. Which one is it? Cutting rates, not cutting rates? We know that they're going to have to cut rates. We just don't know when. That's why I'm going to share with you at the end why I have a very strict exit plan. I don't care what they say. I watch what they do and I respond non-emotionally to what they do. Okay, so this is the last thing I'm going to show you guys. So America is going to have a big winner in Bitcoin cryptocurrency, Anthony Pompliano. I love the way he explains this. So again, it goes back into interest rates. We now know that Larry Fink, the video I showed you yesterday, told you that went from cryptocurrencies used for money laundering in 2017 to now cryptocurrencies a flight to safety. The whole narrative transition. This bull run is going to make the previous 4-year cycles look like child's play. Just my opinion, because of the economic status of America right now.
Right now, and let's talk Bitcoin specifically. $42,000. What do you ascribe the move to?
Yeah, Bitcoin is a free market asset. And I think one of the things people forget in finance is that markets are forward looking. And so what we're seeing here is people are allocating to an asset that they believe is going to go up in the future, obviously. Things that will drive that are the Bitcoin ETF. But as people are allocating to this, 70% of the circulating supply of Bitcoin has not moved in a year. The reason why that's important is this is an $800 billion asset that has gone up 150% over the last 12 months. So when an asset goes up 150%, you would expect people to sell into the strength, kind of take profits. That's not happening. And so Bitcoiners are not selling that Bitcoin. They're not going to sell it to Wall Street. And so Wall Street's going to have to continue to bid up the price.
In order to that share issue. So the 70%, that has not changed, not just this past year, but by the way, that has not changed, I don't think.
This is so important what they're talking about. I'm going to break this down in our terms, right? So basically 70% has not moved. So Wall Street is trying to get in. They have to bid up the price. They have the money to buy this, right? So if you are a person who owns a couple Bitcoin, you get to benefit from that because they have to, because this is a different from any other asset class, guys. Our normal financial system, they can just print money. Bitcoin does not, they can't just turn the printing machine on. There's a certain amount of Bitcoin. Changes the whole game for this asset, changes the whole game for crypto. Changes the whole game. Now, here's why I'm talking about Bitcoin so much, because it's going to drive the market, guys. When Bitcoin goes up, the profits are going to flood into alternative coins, and your altcoins are going to go absolutely parabolic. Okay. Super important. Super important. This is why every single day on the back end of this video, I'm going to share with you guys, because what you repeatedly do gets ingrained in your subconscious mind. What gets ingrained in your subconscious mind becomes an unconscious activity. All of you need to download Merlin. Everything I talk about, I am the co-founder or creator of. We created Merlin because this saved our crypto portfolios by using spreadsheets and having exit plans. We're intelligent investors in crypto. We saw thousands of our friends get wrecked in crypto because they had the greed gene. Guys, stop listening to YouTubers telling you where crypto is going to go. When it starts getting very hypey, when you start hearing Bitcoin to 100,000, Bitcoin, and it keeps going up and there's all these predictions, that means you need to have exits. You need to be getting out, because when they tell you it's going to go to 200,000, it's going to pull back at 150,000. I'm just making up numbers. They said it was going to 100,000 in 2021 to 2022, and it went to 68, somewhere around 68,000. You do not want to be the exit liquidity. Write that down. I do not want to be the exit liquidity. Merlin is the smartest way to track your crypto. We do not hold your keys in combos. Okay, it is an interface that shows you your daily gains and losses, gives you a clear picture of the market to make it very simple. Is it up? Is it down? And here's the most important part. I'm a very simplistic guy. Okay, you're going to create your own exit strategy. We have facts, videos, we have customer service that can help you figure out what an exit strategy is. So basically, for me in cryptocurrency, I have an exit strategy set up. As my crypto goes up, I will be exiting as you guys are all coming in, or the public is coming in, because of the fear, uncertainty, and doubt in the institutional adoption. So as people are going, I'm going to get rich quick, I'm going to get rich quick, and it's going up, I've pulled 3, 4, or 5 times profit. And when it goes to the point where you are going to be the exit liquidity, the exchanges are going to shut down because they're getting liquidated. The institutions and me and my team, we already got our money. We're going to pay Uncle Sam or do what we got to do or figure out how to do that. And then I'm going to max fund my index universal life policies. If I need cash flow from that to buy back in, I will borrow from my policy tax-free. Okay. Knowing that I don't even have to pay that back. It comes off the death benefit. That's very important on how you set your policies up. And I'm also going to be getting more into real estate. Real estate is going to appreciate like crazy if interest rates go down. I'm going to get more precious metals. I'm going to continue to develop more businesses that solve big problems for the world. Merlin, everybody gets 30 days for free, guys. If you don't like it, you literally go inside and click cancel. You do not have to jump through hoops. We are very serious about helping as many people as possible. We have thousands of people that watch this. There's already almost 1,300 people using Merlin, and the customer service results are amazing, guys. This will change your investment career because everybody, if you do not have a foundation of wealth, if you've never grown up with wealth, if you've never been educated on wealth, you have to change your frame of mind. Merlin will get you in the conversation. It'll get you going. It'll get you running like an intelligent investor. You have to have an exit plan in everything you do, guys. Very important, especially crypto. You think when these institutions come in, you don't think they're going to pull super hard. You're going to be the exit liquidity, just like most people were from 2021 to 2022 when it came down 85%. Yeah, it's exciting when you're making money, and your spouse is going to be really happy when you're making the money, but she's also going to be pissed. He or she's going to be pissed when all of a sudden you didn't have an exit plan and you were showing him or her how much money you had. And then all of a sudden you're showing him how broke you are. That is a fact of life that happened over and over again to people in 2022, guys. What goes up must come down. Do the opposite of everybody else. I invert everything.